Welcome to the Reflective Rebels podcast. I am Ben, an executive coach working with small business owners and leaders to find joy and create a life that they want to live. Each fortnight, I'm joined on the sofa by a small business owner who's willing to open up about the real story, the mess, the joy, the meaning, and the crap, and talk about what it means to run a small business and what it means to be a human running a small business. I'm joined on the sofa today by Neil. Welcome, Neil.
Hello, Ben.
How you feeling?
A bit nervous?
Me too. It's going to be fine. I always start somewhere a little unexpected. So my question for you this morning is, what's your favourite day of the week?
Friday.
Friday. Tell me about Fridays. What makes them the best day?
It's just kind of the end of the working week. Even though you do work Saturdays, it's just a nice feeling that you've got time off after work.
Mm. What's the perfect Friday? Perfect Friday night?
The perfect Friday night now or in the past?
Oh, whatever. Well, I'll ask you both.
Well, now I like finishing work a bit earlier. I generally go for a game of squash and then a bit of crack with the lads and maybe a couple of pints and I get home.
Sounds good. So that's now, is it?
That's now.
Yeah. How long have you played squash for?
Over 20, 25 years. On a good standard, but I only ever played squash once in my life, and I was about 18, 19-year-old, and I can remember playing with my uncle down in Nottingham, and I never played it again for another 12 years because I used to play football, but when I finished playing football, it was always in my mind I want to have another go to squash.
Go back.
And then I love squash and racquetball, basically.
What is it about it that you love?
Well, it's short. It's an hour. I love the competitive side of a one-on-one. And like I say, it's over quickly and you get finished, get showered, feel refreshed, feel brand new. You can walk on the court with all these things going around in your head, fuzzing about, and you come off just a new person.
There is something about physical activity that just stops your brain thinking about all the crap, isn't there?
Yeah. Sometimes it comes straight back once you finish. Depends how bad the situation is, but generally you can deal with it better after you've had a bit of a run around and a thrash and a bit of
Smash a racket at a ball.
Well, smashed a few rackets, but not in temper. Just they've clonked the wall.
Competitive spirit.
Yeah. I'm actually in a squash competition tonight, so it's over the weekend. So the first round's tonight. So
brilliant! So you play quite seriously then?
Yeah, it's got that way. And see, you can't play squash and not be serious. It doesn't matter if you're in League 1 or League 30. If you're playing someone who's the same standard of you, it's competitive. So that's the way I like it.
What is it about that you?
I've always liked sport, and I love football. I love playing football. But football is a team game, which is great. But sometimes you can find out some people blame each other sometimes, and sometimes you don't agree. I think, no, you're just trying to get away with making a mistake. But when it's squash and a one-on-one, it's you. That's it. It's you against them, so there's no pointing fingers. You've just got to work out yourself. Different opponents, different styles, and it's, like I say, just makes you feel good.
So you mentioned what the perfect Friday night used to be.
Well, yeah. So when I was obviously a self-employed carpet fitter and I had no premises or anything like that, it was great just to finish work, shut the back doors, straight to the pub, meeting up with all your friends, not working Saturdays, so you could have a really good night. Yeah, that was a different, no responsibility, basically. You could just go out and shut the van doors and enjoy yourself.
So is that different now then? No, there's a different responsibility now, is there?
Yeah. Cause obviously I've got family, and you've got a lot more customer base to deal with. You know, when you were self-employed car fit, a lot of the work was ready for you, so you just have to go in and get your job sheets and such and go and fit the carpets. But now you're dealing with all kinds, so it's not it's not ideal. Even the next day, you've got paperwork to do. You didn't have much paperwork to do when you were just a self-employed carpenter.
Let's go back a bit then. So, are you playing football as a teenager? Is that where the football was?
Yeah, but even smaller. You know, even going back to 7, 8 year old used to be team then. So we all used to live around the Greystone Road, Warwick Road area, and we all used to just play football at weekends, summer holidays. There was just a bunch of lads. How you did? You just go on the park and you play all day, and then I can't exactly remember how it happened, but there was a man called Ian Hodgson, and he kind of got us all together and made a team up called Melbourne Lions. So then we started going into 5-a-side leagues and playing, you know, during the week and then weekends, and that's really got you into it. And then went to leaving primary school to go to secondary school. My secondary school football team they were awful. We used to get games, but we used to get absolutely hammered. And there was possibly only 2 or 3 of us that could actually play football. So it wasn't until I left secondary school that I got back in playing for teams again. And so like from 18, 19 right through to 30, used to play Saturday, Sundays kind of thing.
What was it about that you think you stuck at for so many years when you were young?
Just loved playing football. Yeah. Something I could do, something I've got confident in. I think that's what the main thing is, being confident and finding things you can do and like, and then get confident and getting better. So that was one of the things, same as squash.
So you mentioned leaving school then. How old were you when you left school?
16.
And what did you go and do?
I left school not having any idea what I was doing. Kind of just hit me in the face. What am I going to do now? It was my dad, actually, because my dad used to be in the carpet and flooring trade. He'd finished fitting as such then, but he had contacts. So it was my dad, actually, that got us the job. So I just went to work for this company when I met the owner, and yeah, he let us start. And that was that. I was there 3-4 months. Then my mum found this other job for us because she thought it'd be more secure. So I went to try that, and it was mechanic, and I hated it. Again, I was there maybe 3 months. So I went back to my old boss, and he took us back on, and I've just been in the carpet and flooring trades. I don't know how many years I'll be now. 52, 35-ish. Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
It is funny how we just land in these jobs and then...
But again, I liked it. I liked that job. I was lucky because I really didn't know what I was doing when I left school. I didn't want to go into factories, and I didn't think about, you know, a lot of friends or half a dozen friends went into the army, and I didn't fancy doing that. So I just got into this work, and I probably enjoyed the people I was working with. I liked the fact that we were in different houses, different places daily, not being stuck in the same place. And then I just kind of learned to do the job. Probably took me a little bit longer than some people, but I got going, you know, but yeah, I got going.
That short foray into mechanics, then, what was it that you didn't like about that?
Stuck in the same place, and then having to go to college one day a week. So it was like I wanted to get out of school.
Yeah. So tell us about school then.
I had fun at school. You know, it's not that I didn't like school. I liked my friends there, and I liked going to lessons. But I wanted out as soon as I could get out. But I didn't know what I was doing when I got out. As I said, yeah. So I love certain lessons. I like certain teachers. Obviously, there were certain lessons I didn't like, and there were certain teachers I didn't like. So the school, I remember going to that school. It was more of a zoo than a school.
What do you mean?
There was just fights. There was, you know, fights daily. There was just rowdiness. It was just carnage. Yeah, I don't know whether every school was like that in the 80s, early 90s, I'm not sure there, but I just like football, PE, you know, just like all kinds of PE, every lesson in PE, so made some good friends, still in touch with people from school now.
So you fell into carpet fitting at 16 almost by accident. Tell us about your dad then. So he sorted that out for you, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my dad at the time, he had a furniture shop where he sold three-piece suites and beds, but he was a carpet fitter in his days, and he was a really good carpet fitter. He had a good reputation. So he still had contacts because the man who owned the business that I went to, he was the accountant at the company where my dad used to be the carpet fitter. So he just went to see him basically, and he asked us, and yeah, he took us on. There was I think there was 8 of us, four seniors and 4 kind of young lads. I think that's how it was at the time.
Mm. This is in Carlisle, is it?
In Carlisle, a little shop called Cameo Carpet. It was. It was just in Shadden Mills. It was in there.
So tell us about day to day. What was life like at the age of 16 doing that job?
It's hard to say. It was just go to work. I was generally with the same senior fitter. We used to go out. You could have 2 jobs. You could have 7 jobs. Depends how long the jobs were taken. And then, yeah, you could be anywhere over the county really, because the company I worked for, he had his own carpet shop, supplying his own carpets, but he also subbed this out to the big carpet shops that were in the town at the time. I think it was Allied Carpets, and there was Queensware, there was different things, so I used to sub this out to them. So we were just all over the place really. It was just, yeah.
Mm. And you stuck at that then, did you? Was that it, you, carpet fitting then, did you say, the next 35 years or something?
Yeah. Yeah, the company went bust in 92, so I'd only been there maybe 3 or 4 years, and then the company went bust, and the senior fitter I worked with, mainly he went self-employed, and he took me with him to help him. So he set up on his own, and so we just went to the big stores ourselves as subcontract fitters, and then I stayed with Robin for another 2 or 3 years, and then a chance came up in the shop. They wanted another fitter, so I kind of said, well, I said to Robin, do you mind if I ever go on my own? He said, no, not at all. So that's when I had to get my own van and get set up and start there. That was the 1st of September 95, I can remember.
1st of September 19.
That was self-employed, and it was 1st of September 1995.
So I'm really interested in these moments where we make these decisions to kind of go for it and go out on our own. What do you think shaped that choice for you?
It was just the chance of a space coming up in the shop. And at the time, there could have been half a dozen people could have came in and took it. So now you would get something like that, no problem. Back then it was the opportunity. I had to take it because I might not have got another chance for another 2 or 3 years. And Robin was quite supportive of us, even though I was 21. Yeah, I think I was 21. And he said, because I was nearly there, I could do 99% of work, but there's some bits and bobs probably needed tidying up on. But he always said, if they give you something like that, I'll always come and help you. So it was vice versa. If I got finished early, I would give him a ring and I'd go and help him finish stuff. So we had that kind of relationship for 2 or 3 years with each other there. So it was good just to kind of make sure that I was doing everything right, which that's what I've been brought up by my dad and Robin. You don't cut corners.
So two big mentors there really then, between your dad and Robin. Yeah.
Yeah, when I look back, and my boss that took us on at the carpet shop, I really looked up to him, even though, yeah, he was a lovely bloke. He was called, what was his nickname? Likeable Rogue, when I think back. So, but he was, I really like Malcolm.
What do you think you learned from them?
All 3 of them, or just?
Yeah, or each individually.
Well, Robin was all about fitting. I didn't actually work with my dad when my dad was a car fitter. I can remember my dad going to do jobs and he would pick me up after school because mum and dad weren't together. So every now and again when my dad picked us up, he would take us to a couple of jobs. So I would help him skip things out the van and whatnot. But I don't think I could have worked with my dad. And as I know now, there's not a lot of young lads wouldn't work with my dad, and my dad wouldn't have them because he only wanted ones that would do it right. I heard my dad was a bit of a. I've heard some stories where he's just left the apprentice at the house and let them get on themselves because they haven't been working well, kind of thing. So he was quite a hard nut. And then Malcolm, I just kind of respected him for taking us back on because he, starting a job for 3 months, really, I was still only sweeping floors and picking rubbish up, you know what I mean, and packing. So he could have said, no, you've gone. But yeah, I always appreciated the fact that he took us back on as a lad that couldn't do anything. And then, yeah.
So I can't remember, 1st of September, was it, 1995?
Yeah.
Self-employed. How did it feel? How did it feel?
How did it feel?
Yeah.
Well, the 2 weeks previous to being self-employed, because I worked with Robin till the end of July. Then I had 2 weeks holiday in Tenerife with my pals. And then as soon as I came back from there, I was basically self-employed. So I was nervous. I can remember driving to my first job in my own van, thinking, "Oh no!" It was, I've got to do this myself now. There's no one I can say, "Can you help us fix this or do this?" So, yeah, it was just nervous. I knew I could do the job, but you just done it. You know what I mean? You took a little bit more time, and you got faster and quicker and better as more work you done and more confidence again. I just think it was a young age, 21, to be self-employed, but I just got on with it.
Yeah. So what's next then? What's the next chapter? How long did you do that for, self-employed?
95 to... Because I said my dad had a furniture shop. He sold 3-piece sheets and beds, and he knew I was into the carpets. He actually got like a bit of a carpet display in his shop to help me, not having to do 5 days. I must have been 10 years. 8 years I must have worked for the carpet shops, self-employed. Mm-hmm. Different ones, carpet rating, story carpets, and I'd done a bit for my dad. But I think the biggest change, I was getting busy with my own work anyway, so I was doing 5 days at the carpet shops, and I was also doing my own jobs after I finished their work. So I was working, till 7, 8 o'clock at night, 5 days a week. I would even work Saturdays and Sundays if I had to, just to, my own customers. So I kind of built it up slowly. But I think that the biggest, it was the floods in Carlisle, 2005, the first floods.
Yeah.
That's when I knew I was getting work coming in. So I cut the days down from 5 maybe to 3, and then eventually made it to 2. And then I kind of just didn't do any subcontractor work and just worked on my own customers and the bit that my dad had in his shop, the display. And it's just built up again from there, 2005 floods. Yeah.
What do you think it was then about you that was able to make that switch? Because not everyone would do that, would they? Some people would just subcontract their whole life.
Probably being able to organise your own days. I think I like the thought of that instead of, when you've done 8 years of subcontracting and you're going in, you didn't know what you were going into sometimes. And then the people you did get the job through or worked for, when they move on, you get new people. Sometimes I found as it went on, the people organising the work weren't on the ball as much as the first people. So it was kind of causing a bit of atmosphere between all the fitters. Just a bit of uneasiness, and I thought I just want to control my own days a bit more.
And how did you go about developing those relationships with customers in the early days?
Once I'd fitted the carpets, obviously I got to know the customers because I used to talk to them. I wasn't a subcontractor that went in the house and put my head down and didn't say anything. I was quite chatty and friendly because I always thought, and I always do now, that I respect people's houses probably more than my own house. It's their pride and joy what they've built up. So I used to talk to them and do a good job, and then they would know what my name was, and then if they said, "Oh, next time we get a carpet, we'll ask for you," I'd say, "Yeah, no problem." So they kind of just built relationships up like that, where they would go back into the shop and say, "Could we have Neil to fit the carpet again?" So they'd just organise it like that. That's how you build it up slowly, I think.
So that pride in your work,
Right? Yeah.
and
The feeling,
the relationship with the
I've
customer.
always thought when you drive away and you're pleased with your own work, you know the customer's pleased with it. That's what drives you on. Sometimes when you've drove away from a job and you're not 100%, like maybe you've had to put a join in the carpet, which can't be helped. That's the way the room is, and the join isn't totally invisible, but it's the best you've done. Sometimes it can eat away at you, but there's nothing more you can do. But sometimes that wasn't satisfying. So yeah, so I've always liked to be satisfied with the work that's been done.
Go on.
I just wouldn't like anyone to say anything, or I'm not happy with this job, Neil, and I've fitted it. I would have been straight back the next day to have a look at it for them.
Have you reflected now you're older on where that came from? Where was that instilled in you in your childhood?
No, I just think that was me naturally, but I think maybe I was a second child, so I had to battle for everything. So I've always had to shuffle. You know what I mean? Your bigger brother used to knock you about, so you'd have to make yourself better. I think. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got any examples when you were younger of what?
Well, yeah, we were very young. Obviously, my brother's 3 years older than me, so I used to play football again. He used to play football with his friends, so they were always 2 or 3 years older than me, and I would always get involved with them, and I'd kind of say, "I'm going to show you," that attitude there. We didn't have physical fights, me and my brother, a couple of bits and bobs, but yeah, I think it was more that you just wanted to be as good as your brother or anyone older. You just wanted to. I always look at people and think, I want to be like that. I want to try and get myself up there. You know what I mean? It's just competitive side again.
Who were you looking to then later in life? Was there someone that you wanted to be like, be better than?
Well, yeah, my dad. I always said to Robin, if I can do as good as my dad, I'll be happy. That's how, because he had his own business. I always looked at that. He had his own business. So that's where I want to be, kind of thing.
Real role model in that sense.
Well, I think so.
He was an entrepreneur. He had his business. He was doing it.
Yeah, yeah. But there's also things that I seen in my dad that he never got a retirement. He passed away before he retired. It was sudden. It was awful, really. But his shop. He was very tied to his shop. He didn't have much time to do anything else apart from his 2 or 3 holders a year. Weekends, he was working in the shop and there. So I always thought I don't want to get tied up that much, because I seen him. It was quite hard for him. Not having much time away from the business.
What impact do you think that had on his life?
I don't think he would have wanted it any other way. Because if he left the shop for a day and there wasn't any sales, he'll thought, well, if I was there, I would have got a sale. So as much as he wanted to be away, he wanted to be involved, on the phone, what's happened, has anyone been in? So I've seen all that, and I'm possibly a bit like that myself here. I like to know what's been going on at my shop if I'm not in. So I don't know, you just watch and learn off your. Well, I did personally. Elders back then, I used to watch and learn off them and pick things up. And I probably carried that on into my life.
For good or for bad?
I would say for good. You pick up the good bits, and some bits don't work, and you keep with the good bits, and you have your own bits, and yeah, it's all for the good, I think.
So you mentioned family. What do you hope your kids are thinking when they're looking at you now?
I would like to think they see me going to work every day And that's the way life should be. Go out and do it yourself and get what you want out of life.
So when did family come about in this work journey, this self-employed in 1995, age of 21? Where does the family weave into the story? Where do you get these other responsibilities start popping up?
Well, I've got an elder daughter. She was born in 1998.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. She's 27 now. Married last year. Obviously, we didn't have a lot of contact for a lot of years, but we're back in contact now, which is great. So that was the first responsibility. When we had to get a house, whatnot, build a house up. Baby was born. Things didn't work out. Mid 2001, 2002, something like that. We parted, and then obviously still had my responsibility of my daughter. Still seeing her regular till she was 13 or 14-year-old. So there was always a responsibility there, but I still had a bit of free time.
Yeah.
And then the two boys now with Carlisle. I don't know what to say there now, because they're like 13 and 12, so there's a big spell between me not having responsibilities again. I had my work and my house to pay for, but I wasn't in any long-term relationships for quite a long spell, so didn't feel as I had massive responsibility. But then met Caroline and she's pregnant, and then that was a change.
Yeah.
When she was pregnant with Charlie. Yeah.
Which was, what, 2012?
Charlie was born 2012.
Charlie and
Yeah,
Charlie.
so it was early January 2012.
Yeah. I'm going to pause for a moment just to say that the podcast is funded and sponsored, if you like, by my work coaching. So that's both one-to-one and through gatherings. If you are enjoying the story so far, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe, or if you have 15 more seconds, leave a review wherever you're listening. And you can hear more about the podcast's tips, tricks, and ideas to bring more joy into your life at reflectiverebels.co.uk/newsletter. So you're picking up this work of your own sort of post the floods, 2005. What's that period like then? 2005. And you take on a shop of your own at some point?
2014.
2014.
I took the shop on.
So a couple of years after the first child's born.
Yeah, that was probably the reason.
Right, okay. Tell us more about that then.
Well, the fact that it was just for them years, from 2005 to 2012, I was working, I was doing fine. It was just myself, I was getting by fine. I was having a good life, but then obviously, child coming along, you think, well, you need more income. Yeah, bottom line. So, never thought I'd have a shop. Never planned to have a shop. The thought of my dad getting tied up in the shop, that was crossing my mind. But the two lads that were working with me then, I spoke to them about it, because we used to be, the three of us used to go out and do all the fittings. I said, how would you feel if this done? Would you be with me? And I'll probably have to be more shop based, and you can do a bit more fitting. Yeah, so they were up for it, but it was finding the premises, and it was just where do you start? How do you go about it? So I really can't remember how I found the premises, but I got in touch with. I seen obviously it's a let sign on the shop, and I knew the lad who was the landlord, so I rang him, and we just met at the shop and just discussed a couple of things. I was scared, to be frank, just the extra outgoings.
The money.
Yeah. I thought to myself, I'm probably going to need 3 or 4 more jobs a week to cover it. And Stuart, who was the landlord, he really, really helpful with this. He said, right, we'll do, I can't remember the ins and outs, but he said, we'll do this, this and this to give you a start. So that's it. As I said, right, we'll go with it. So I made the decision, and yeah, that was it. 2014.
What were the fears in your head? What was your head telling you?
Just finance. if you put something, you've got something together yourself, you're spending it all. So you're taking a chance. That was everything, the decoration of the inside of the shop, everything you've worked for, you're ploughing into something where you thought, well, this could be used elsewhere, but it's just the finance, basically.
Mm.
But looking back, it was just, I couldn't believe how fast the business grew in the first month.
Really?
I got totally caught out. My reputation was there and I didn't know about it because I was at the van and dealing with customers then, but a lot of customers knew who I was but wouldn't deal with us because I didn't have a premises, if that makes sense. So once I got the premises, it was just an influx. It was just carnage the first month. And I just had the two lads doing the fittings and we just couldn't, there was more coming in than what we could get out. So it was like, just hit us. I thought, I need to get more lads, I need to do this. So it was just a fast changeover, fast spell of time.
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it? Very quickly. So and you were surprised. You were taken by surprise then. You didn't realise it was going to.
No, and no idea. I was hoping I could maybe, like, say 3-4 jobs a week. Be in the shop in the morning and then go out and help the lads fit. But it just never turned out like that. I was shop based. I actually started getting tied up like my dad, and he started hitting us. I was doing every Saturday. It was just, and that was just to service the customer base, really. Mm-hmm.
So that's 2014.
Then we flooded.
Oh God, you flooded.
Shop flooded, house flooded, warehouse flooded, all in 2015. That was just, it was mental. We had 2 kids then. Charlie was 3 and Jerry was 2. So it was childcare place flooded.
You're laughing now, but I don't think
everything we had no childcare. It was just full on. And obviously, again, the landlord was brilliant. You got the shop turned around, flooded in December, and he had me back open March. Got the building sorted.
Can you tell us about that day then?
The flood day. We were at home. Yeah, Saturday afternoon. It was a massive storm. Saturday afternoon, and maybe 4 or 5 o'clock that you could see on Brunton Avenue, Brunton Crescent, where I used to live. We 4 of us at home, and there was talk about the flood alerts and all this, and then next thing they this, because we were on like a end house and like a lane beside us, and this water just came right down the lane, and it just covered the road so fast, and that was it. You had to get out or stay. So we decided to stay because we didn't think, we'd never done the floods. We didn't realise how bad it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We were told to get out by other people who experienced it, but we never. And then we stayed in the house upstairs, and it was like midnight. It started coming through the floor downstairs, and then 2, 3 in the morning, it was halfway up the stairs. It was quite scary actually. To think, is this going to stop? It was up good 4 or 5 steps. 6 foot in the house there. So then we had to get out the next day. Yeah, that wasn't.
How are you feeling? And what are the kids? Are the kids aware of what's going on? Or are they too young, really?
I think they were too young. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know how they were feeling actually. We actually had to get taken out the bedroom window by the rescue boats. Kind of, that they were there, and they kind of had to lift the boys out. Then they grabbed them and put them in the boat, and then we had to climb out ourselves. But then. Obviously, I thought the shop would have been flooded because of where it was, but I never seen a picture of it till the next day. Well, that was about 9 foot. It was up to the ceiling, and I got a picture through, so I knew that had gone. It was just like, well, where do you start?
Yeah. How are you feeling that on that day? House gone.
It was gone. I think it's just silence really, and you just kind of, you can't do anything till the water's gone. Really, I think. A lot of people in the same boat, so you didn't feel as though you were itemised or what's the word, singled out. So you knew everyone was in a bit of trouble. But it was when you went back to the house and seen the house and you seen the mess in the shop, everything that you've worked for is just gone. I think it's emotional kind of thing. Yeah, so we just had to get going, got the shop up and running again. And then Carlisle dealt with the house. I was dealing with the shop, so Carlisle was dealing with the house. But I'm trying to figure, we got a rental house somewhere. I were at Upperby. We've got a few company that I used to do a bit of work for. They got us a rental house, so we were in there. So at least I think that's the first thing you've got to find that, and then you just got to deal with everything daily. Which was, it was very hard because the business obviously took off as well. Like 6 months later, because there's not many people wanting flooring. So I was dealing with that side. Like say, Carlisle was trying to get our house back together, dealing with the insurers and getting ours sorted out. Yeah, stressful.
Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like a hell of a lot. What's it like inside your head at that time? What's it go?
I don't know really. I think you just get on with it, don't you? It's just day to day. You can't. Sometimes, you just get on with it. You can't explain. You have to. You can't just stop. You've just got to work hard again, haven't you? Just in you.
Just that inner resilience.
Yeah, I think that.
Able to get up the next day and.
Yeah. It's harder. It wears you out, but you just have to battle on, don't you? It gets itself turned around again, but yeah, thankfully now the shop won't flood and we've moved house so we won't flood again. That was one of the main objectives once we got sorted. We're not having
Make
this.
sure this doesn't happen again.
We're not having this. We're not going through this again.
Sounds like a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot with 2 young ones as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because even that on its own is enough.
Yeah.
So you moved to another shop then?
That was it.
Was that bigger?
Yeah.
Was it kind of a move up again? Because you've made these like bold moves.
Yeah. That was COVID. That was another challenging time. COVID, we moved into the new premises June 21, so it's nearly on for 5 years now. So far better now, far better shop, far better place. Got a good warehouse, more room to work. Yeah, probably struggled on the other shop for too long after the floods, but it's not easy to find.
The business had outgrown it.
Yeah. So there's only kind of me that could work in the shop because there's no other space. So I was feeling as I was doing everything in the shop and taking things home that I couldn't get through during the day. But now in the bigger premises, you don't realise at the time. The bigger premises, you can have someone in the shop, but then you can get on with your stuff in the back. But it was hard to find commercial property to move into. So again, I think I got lucky with this premises we moved into because my best pal was getting paid off, and it must have been August, September time of 20. He got told the business was closing at Christmas, so I went to see his boss, see what he was doing with the premises, and he kind of just done a deal there. And then within a week we shook hands, and he said, "This is what I want for it." So I went away to see what I could do. I came back and said, "Yeah." So that was it. Shook hands on it, and then like say COVID hit, and both shop was closed. So
yeah, what happened in COVID then to your business? So the shop had to shut.
Shop had to close. When was that?
Was it January
2020,
wasn't it?
So we closed. I think everyone's closed
Easter.
that first time, wasn't it? The March time for a good couple of months. That was driving me insane, to be honest, at home. Just like.
So did business just stop then? You couldn't do anything?
It stopped at that time.
Yeah.
But I was getting loads of calls. So there was a list of work building up, and there was nothing I could do about it. So no one knew how long it was going to last. So we kind of came out of it in the April, May, didn't we? And then I got on with things then. But we had another lockdown, didn't we, at the November? But I'm sure we could stay open. I can't remember.
I don't remember the details.
Yeah. But it was that. Yeah. So that was 2020, and then we, like I say, agreed on the new premises in that year. But there was another lockdown in the February, March of 2021. And that's when we'd done a lot of work inside the new premises because we were closed again. So we were in and we're just knocking walls down, whatever, and decorating work, and then we opened that shop in the May.
Mm.
That was another challenging time for everybody as well, wasn't it? Just it's been manic for 10, 12 years. It's just gone like a flash, but there's so much happened in that time. It's madness, really. And you think how old you are, and you think, my God.
What are your reflections on it then, when you look back over that 12 years?
Oh, there's really good bits, but there's really, really bits that, you wouldn't wish it on anybody, really. Sometimes some of the things you've had to get through. But you look at where you're at now, and I mean, business is in a great place as such, you know what I mean? Family life's good. I'm back in touch with my daughter. I've had a successful knee operation now that I got done last year that I've struggled with for a long time. So there's been a lot of challenges, but you just look back and you think, well, that's just the way your life is, and that's you've got through it and you've dealt with it, and it just makes you, what's the words? Stronger, resilient,
Yeah.
And the next thing comes along, it's not as big a challenge as what you've dealt with there, so you don't feel as though it's an issue.
So where are you at then? Where are you at?
Where am I at?
Yeah.
With you. You know what, Ben? I don't really know. I just do what I do. I get up, still go to work. I do think about, things I want to do, and when am I going to fit this in? But at the minute, I don't think it's the right time. But then time's ticking as well, isn't it? You've got to try and work it out somehow.
Do you think you're too tied to the shop, like your dad was? How do you feel about that
now?
now?
I am tied to it, and I've got I've got a couple of good lads in there now, but they still need me. But until the boys have grown up and decide what they're doing, I think I'm not tied, but I'm seeing if there's a use for them to be in this business or not. Obviously, I like travelling, so until they're more grown up, maybe just what can we do at that time? If you got further field holders that they maybe wouldn't appreciate.
What do you think the next 12 years holds then? When all that's happened in the last 12, have you got an idea of what you want?
It can't be as bad. Can't be as hard. What I want it to be, or
what do you want? Yeah.
I would like to, see more of the world. Really, that's the plan. I would think in my life, I want to see more places.
Where's on your list?
I like to. We've already looked into it, but it's not going to work with the boys. It's a safari. I want to do an African safari. New Zealand's appealing. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's the furthest country away. I don't know. Just looks peaceful, and that. We always like, we've been in the Maldives, which is just stunning. Go back there if we could. And Carlisle, we went to Thailand. That's when we found out Carlisle was pregnant with Charlie when we were in Thailand. So just a great place just a great place. So there's countries like that. We've looked at it to go with the boys, but it's not. Some of it isn't ideal, really.
So get them off. They can't leave school at 16 anymore.
Well, that's
You've got, we've got a couple more years.
I don't know whether we could actually leave them in the house when they were 19 and 29. But yes, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
What do you think you would say to 16-year-old you if you could go back now and talk to that 16-year-old lad who doesn't know what he wants to do, where he's going?
It's like I say to my two lads now, just do your best at school. I possibly didn't. I know I didn't. Whether that's intentional or not, I don't know. I was a bit of a muck around. And
do you think that's had an impact? Do you think it meant you've missed out on anything?
No. I am what I am. Where I've got, you know what I mean. I've been put into this path as such, and I've been lucky to find a job that I liked. No, I don't think it's impacted us. I've been lucky, you know. I've had good people around us on the way, whether it's at the start of the journey or in the middle of the journey. I've had people around us that's helped us.
Yeah, those
Good advice.
relationships sounds like they've been really important to you.
Yeah, at the start. But there's ones in the middle as well, because I used to play, you know, I even used to play golf with the squash club. There was people there with businesses. There was, you know, people on the golf course I used to talk to about stuff. So I always pick bits up. I always have off elders. I've always listened to people who are doing better than me and elders who have experienced it. So I've always took it on board. Just kind of, yeah.
Can you remember any advice anyone's ever given you that's really stuck?
One bit of advice, well, not advice, it was just a comment, and it stuck with us. I must have been, we're playing golf. I still see them, this man now, and he probably won't even remember saying this to me. And we're just talking away, and for whatever reason, he said to us, I must have been talking about work, and maybe a problem, an issue, or something like that. And he turned around and said, Neil, just take everything as a transaction now. And it kind of stuck to us, and it is, because I was probably a bit naive to the world when I was even self-employed, and the way he kind of said to us, everyone, it's just a transaction.
What did that mean to you? What did you take from that then?
Just people want money off you. That's how the world goes around, isn't it? You work, people take it off you, and it's just a transaction.
And how were you treating it before? What was?
I was probably just naive to say, well, I can't believe this is, I can't believe this has happened. What do I want this for? And I can't remember I wish I could remember, but it's just, just naive.
That was like, yeah.
I used to just go to work, get my wage, but then you have to pay something out that we think, well, that's a bit, I just kind of put it into perspective to say it's just a transaction. It kind of stuck with us.
What do you think your dad would say of where you are now? What do you think your dad would think?
Yeah, well, it'd be nice. My dad passed away in 2011, and I didn't get the shop till 2014. But I had to, because of his shop, I helped my stepmum at the time, because all his shop was everything was to sell
it was
off.
Just left.
So I kind of got involved with that, because I did help my dad a little bit in the shop, with deliveries and all that. So I think that helped us a bit. But when I got my own shop and I got going, a lot of people my dad knew and I knew, a lot of them used to say, Dad would be really proud. So that was quite nice on there. But I never thought about it. But yeah, so yeah. So a lot of people did just say, your dad would be so proud of you, Neil, what you're doing.
What is it about you then, Neil, that do you think, what's the thing that's made you so successful? You've gone for it, you've got the shop, you seem to have taken the opportunity that has been there each time.
See, I don't know, to be honest, but when I look back, I just think, as I said, I've had good people around us, I've made decisions, they've worked. I've worked hard, I've done a good job, and I had pride in my work. I think that's what's worked for us. And I get on with a lot of people. So I don't know if that comes across with customers. And that's why they use you again, as well as doing a good job, maybe trustworthy. I don't know.
Yeah. That's been a massive theme, I think, throughout our whole chat.
Yeah.
Is your relationships with the people around you.
Yeah.
Wanting to learn for them, wanting to do right by them. Yeah.
Brought up with manners, and just a bit of respect and that, and I think that's stuck with us through my life. And I get frustrated when I don't see people with respect.
Do you think that's changed?
Definitely. I don't even think the word exists in younger people now. It's quite sad, really, but that's the way it is.
What's next in the immediate? What's next for the business?
Well, there's no major changes. We're quite settled.
So you're at the point where
we're quite settled.
Enjoying a period of settle.
It's not expanding anywhere. We're busy. Just carry on. I think I'm just carrying on for a few years till the boys leave school, and I don't know if that'll make a decision to me what I need to do or not do. But yeah, I'll just carry on. Try and get a bit more time off. It's hard to enjoy a business, though. It's hard to enjoy it. It's just constant. It's just...
I know the feeling.
Yeah, it's just constant. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like it. There's parts of it I do like it, but you can get overwhelmed, and there's just too much on your plate at times.
What have you learned to do about that?
Play squash. Walk my dog. I love my dog. Yeah, walk the dog. That can just, if you're tired from a game of squash the day before, walking the dogs, that can switch you off. They're just fun.
Yeah, it's amazing how important those things are.
Even switching your phone off's a good thing. Not that you settle with doing that, but it's just nice for the spell because you don't know what's going to be there when you put it back on there. Yeah. It can feel relentless, can't it? But like you say, there is good stuff in there too. Oh yeah, there definitely is, because I still enjoy my job. It's just when you're busy, it's very hard to keep on top of everyone you're dealing with and making sure everything's getting done right. That's kind of the stressful part here. Yeah, but it's also the bit that's probably made you the success that you are. Is that desire for it to be done and done properly. Yeah. I think we're done on that note. Very good. Yeah, I think that's your key to success summed up there. Thank you very much for joining me. That's been fascinating. Thank you, Neil. Thank you. Thank you for listening. If Neil's story has inspired you in his resilience facing challenges, his ability to spot opportunities and go for it, and in his ethic, his commitment to taking pride in his work and doing right by the people around him, then I'd love you to leave a review or rate the episode. You can hear more of these stories by subscribing, and also find out more about inspiration for your own life at www.reflectiverebels.co.uk/newsletter.